Our lab environment is on internet. Our Windows box is behind the firewall. Let's assume that this IP address is our public IP address, and it has another private IP address with 172.16.2.110, and this IP address is connected to another machine, which is this one, and it has a 172.16.2.158, and there is another private network 192.168.99.158. It is connected to my bbox machine. Okay, this is our lab environment, and this bbox machine 192.168.99 and 190 is not available from this box. And let's try 192.168.99.190. So it's actually redirecting to my default gateway, but there is no access to this one. So, but I like to access because that is the database server or the domain controller server. So our attack vector is going to start with either an exploitation or with an Meterpreter. So in order to make things clear that we already covered vulnerability scanning and exploitation, finding that and exploiting that, and assume that we can find a way to access to a Meterpreter. So that obviously I'm going to use MSF Venom to create some Meterpreter. So my payload is going to be Windows Meterpreter, and this is going to be reverse underscore TCP. Okay, my L host is going to be my Calibox, which is 172.16.52.203, and my L port is going to be, and let's say 4455. Okay, the format is going to be executable. Oh, come on, what's happening here? Okay, executable, and the output is going to be Meterpreter underscore reverse underscore TCP underscore. It is going to connect back to 203 and port 4455.exe. This is my naming notation. I can keep in my mind. Okay, let's use this one and let's our handler get ready, huh? So I will use exploit multi-handler, and the payload is going to be set payload Windows Meterpreter slash reverse TCP. There we go. Show options. I need to set up the port because this one is from the previous one. So set L port is going to be 4455. Oops. I think we are in good shape. Our executable is ready. Okay, sometimes it crashes because I'm not using any encoding, but I would like to use that right now. -E encoding is crashes sometimes, you know. Do you remember the encoding name? It's actually one of the hardest one. Shikita Ganai. That is hardest word. I can even memorize it for many years. So Shikita Ganai is going to be my encoding. Perfect. It is ready. It is under my Meterpreter. So the latest one is this one. Let's copy this and put it on my host machine so I can copy it to my Windows box. Copy and put it on my Windows machine. Yeah. Okay, this one is the new one. So I have my process hacker is open behind the scenes, so I can see which executables have connection. Actually, I can see the Meterpreter is trying to connect. I think I forget my old Meterpreter session here. Where is that? That is. Let's terminate this one. Okay. Is there any Meterpreters? Good. So let me open TCP connections, and I need to run my handler here. Let's run. It's ready, and let's hit this one. So it is running, and it is connecting to 172.16.52.203, and port is 4455, right? So as we expected, we have our Meterpreter session here. So I can see that I'm in Camden or Jandan, Win7 box. So I already have a connection to one of the DMZ box, but I need to access to the one behind the firewall. So how can I do that? First of all, you need to run ifconfig and make sure that there are any other networks available. So we are in a black box here, and when I take a look at that, there are a number of network interfaces. These are local loopbacks, and this one is the public IP address that I'm connecting. That is fine. This one is another tap adapter. For this moment, let's leave it alone, because this one I'm using for this DNS tunneling. That's another subject. But this one is a new network, right? When I see a new network on a box, I need to find out how can I scan that network, because I know that if there is another network adapter and it's up and it has an IP address, there has to be other edge to that IP address, right? There must be a number of servers available on that box also. So what I'm going to use that, I will use the auto-root function, excuse me. And when I look at the help of this one, it's actually okay, yeah, these are some helps. Autoroot, subnet, network, / something. You can put you can get the configuration easily. So I will use 172.16.2.0/24 because it's a /24 network, right? See that? Okay. So I have that. I can put a Meterpreter session to background, so I can later on interact with that one. And the session number is number 2. Okay. When I take a look at the sessions, I have session 2, which is between my box and the 204, which is the Windows box, and it's local port. So, and when I print the root, I have session 2, which allows me to scan 172.16.2. something, right? So how can I scan? Can I use nmap? Yeah, but you have to write a lot of root rules for that. Nmaps is running outside the Metasploit, right? This root, unfortunately, is not valid outside your network. For example, if you use root minus nr, root, okay, print. Okay, root. That's mines and sometimes you have different platforms. So your operating system is thinking that, hey, if I need to go somewhere, I will use this root table. So therefore, if you use the nmap, it's not going to use this root table. But of course, you can add more rules, right? Root add to this port, use this IP box, and you can forward the whole ports to that local port, but it's useless. It's not easy to do that. So we need to make sure that our Metasploit can scan the internal network. So I will use auxiliary scanner, and let's use for this moment net bios NBT scan, right? This one is one of the famous scanner. We can use the NBT scan to enumerate the names, and if I run show options, it allows me to put remote host, and I will put as remote host is going to be 172.16.2.0/24. Please see that this network is not available from my box, but I will still can scan that. And the remote port is going to be the NetBIOS port, which is 137. So when I hit show options, I'm in good shape, right? So if I run here, it is going to scan this network with using this Metasploit session. So let's wait for a while because it's going to take a couple of minutes to bring up us some results. Since the IP address is actually on 172.16.2.110 and 158, so yeah, so there we have.
As if the MVP scan is running on the my source.
Exactly. It's running on this one. And actually, we can run a Wireshark on that. Actually, definitely you can access to this IP address from your local port because it's not allowing you. So we have a new candidate, 172.16.2.158, which is the internal network. So I would like to scan this box and make sure that which ports are available on that box. I need port scan also. So I will use auxiliary scanner and TCP port scan and TCP scan. Okay, and when I hit options, it is asking me that, hey, which remote host you would like to scan. I would like to scan 172.16.2.158, right? Because this one is new discovered IP address. Okay. Oh, sorry. So set our hosts. Okay, and I would like to keep the ports limited because, just make sure that we can finish in a reasonable time. So I will use 1 to 1000. Okay, and set threads, maybe 5 threads together. We're all set. And
that's going to be noisy because you're going to be scanning what, 255 hosts for 1,000 ports?
No, actually I'm scanning one host because I already discovered, and I will use scan
just the first 1,000.
Yeah, first 1,000. And maybe you can decrease the number of threads or number of concurrency, so it will allow you to create less noise.
Does it have anything like the timing options?
Yeah, delay is the one. It's actually delaying between. It actually depends on your target. If they are so sensitive, you can delay and decrease the number of concurrency. But for this moment, it's just a test. But you have an option for that. And I would like to show that in the process hacker, showing me that, hey, this executable is connecting with the Metasploitable box with port number 81, 91. See that the port numbers are increasing one by one, right? I can see that it's actually scanning. This one is scanning the Metasploit box, and I am just sitting here and seeing that, hey, I have my ports available here. I found that 21, 23, 24 is, these ports are available. You can wait for more and make sure that you can discover more ports. But I would like to use 21st. It's going to be an FTP. So I would like to use 21st, whether there is an exploit available for that, but I need the version number, right? So how can I discover that? I can search FTP, for example, and find that FTP version number identifier. It's going to be an auxiliary module. Auxiliary module has an FTP. What was that name? Yeah, FTP version. See that? Auxiliary. I will use this one. Use auxiliary. What was that? Scanner. And scanner and FTP, then FTP version. Okay. Scanner FTP and FTP underscore version. Okay, show options. Username, password, I don't have any, but I would like to use remote host set our hosts 172.16.2.158. Okay, the port is going to be 21, and
So just gonna try an anonymous.
yeah, I will try with anonymous because I don't have any username and password. So I just discovered the machine. I don't know anything about that. So I will run and let Metasploit to find the version number of this FTP. And I can see that the FTP banner is VSFTP 3.2.3.4. Is there an exploit available for this box? Yeah, it's the backdoored one. Actually, I would like to keep it simple because the lab is already complicated, right? let's keep that simple. So I will exploit VSFTP, this one, and I need to exploit of this one. I will search for VSFTP, and we have an exploit unit FTP which allows me to exploit a box. Okay, so use exploit Unix FTP and VSFTP backdoor, and show options. Remote host, of course, is going to be 172.16.2.158. Okay, the port number is going to be 21. I think we are in good shape. Let's exploit. So what is going to happen is this Meterpreter session is going to exploit another vulnerability behind the firewall. So let's hope for the best and make sure that our box is connecting the 21st port of this Metasploitable, and it's waiting for finalize, and it has already a connection between this one. So I have a command shell available here. So that is good. When I hit who am I, it gives me that you are on root, and let me put it up here. So I'm root in this box, but the problem is, where is my Meterpreter shell? I need Meterpreter. What can I do with this, dummy shell? I can, of course, use apt-get, install, nmap, and all of them, but it's not a good best practice, right? So I need Meterpreter shell, but I have command shell. What can I do? Pardon me? Pardon me? Upgrade? Upgrade, yeah. Is there any module available for that? Yeah. Exactly, something to Meterpreter. I will put this in background and say yes. So actually when I hit sessions, now I have two sessions. One is my Meterpreter, the other one is shell. So I will search for to_Meterpreter. To_Meterpreter allows me to convert that normal shell to a Meterpreter. So I will use post multi manage and shell to Meterpreter. The options is localhost, local port, session. So I can set localhost what? Who is going to be the localhost? Can I put my IP address? No, because that box is not allowed to access to internet. So what can I use? My pivot, right? The MZ machine. Your local host is going to be 172.16.2.110. Did you get the idea? It has to connect back to a box, but it's not me. You can't connect me because I'm outside the firewall. So you have to use your internal network IP addresses. So that's why I'm going to use my pivot machine as a connect back IP address. So it's pretty cool, huh? I really like this feature. I mean, that's one of the fantastic. And I will use the session 3 because that is my Unix shell right here. Okay. Now show options. We are in good shape. So, pardon me?
The port doesn't matter.
It matters, but it has to be a port that this box is not using, because it's going to listen that port, and the Metasploitable is going to connect back that port. So it has to be a free port. But for this moment, for example, the 4433 is free, so I can use that. Can I use, for example, 53? No, it's used by another process. So
firewall. So this box has an external interface.
yeah,
That's firewall.
yeah,
So to connect back through it,
yeah,
you have to open the port, but you also have to open the
yeah,
firewall.
exactly. So the thing is, if I can connect to that box, there has to be a common port available to connect back to me. It could be SSH port, IB, NetBIOS port, anything else. I don't know, but you can use maybe port 80, 443, maybe 8080. I mean, you need to check. Pardon me?
But it can't be used at the time.
Yeah, you can't use the same port. For example, this port 80 is used by IIS service. We can't use that. So let's run this auxiliary module and make sure that our connection is upgraded to Meterpreter. So what's going to happen is I have a 443 is now listening, and I have a connection with Metasploitable. It's a connection established. Pretty cool, huh? I really like this. And when I check my sessions, I have new one, which is Meterpreter Linux. And it says that you are as 52203, you are connecting to 52204 port 4433, then it's connecting to its local IP address. And this is how your connection is going back. And this local IP address is actually the local pipe to a remote pipe, and it's connecting to Metasploitable box. Yep.
Why did the session 2 fail? I mean, in the 2 sessions that failed, will 4 and 3 still be there?
No, probably there will be a connection between that Windows and Metasploitable box, but unfortunately they can communicate with each other, but you can't manage your Trojan. That's the problem.
If you build it back up, would it already work back?
Yeah, and I mean the first step actually, if you have an access to a box, you have to persistent in that box. I'm just skipping that because in the previous weeks we already covered that part. But for this moment, we have to a connection that's working. So let's interact with that session. You're expecting this one. Interact with 4. Okay, let's use ifconfig. Let's use first of all system info and make sure that we are in Metasploitable box. See that? Good. And when I look at that, this IP address is one of the internal IP address, and the other one is just right here and setting that. What the hell? Okay. I hope everybody's okay with that. So 192.168.99.158 is another internal IP address, and I would really love to know that which other IP address is available over there. So I can use the same practice, of course, but first of all, I need to route to this IP address. So how can I do that? Tell me, people. I will run auto route. Yeah. Ah, yeah, that's right. Auto route. So the subnet is going to be 192.168.99.0/24. It's going to be this one, right? Hit enter. Perfect.
So we'll jump through the sessions to see all the IPs that.
Exactly. When I take a look at my root table now, it's beautiful root table. If you need to go to 172.16.2 network, you're gonna use section 2. 99 network, you're gonna use section 4. Wow, pretty fantastic. So I still can use the same thing, right? Use auxiliary, scanner, and all of them, and I can put the same IP address. It doesn't matter how nested is each other, right? Because the idea is stable. If you have a connection to a box, you can use it as a host to connect back. So I will use one more thing that allows me to connect to that box. So let's interact with session minus interact 4 minus E4, okay. I will add root. This is going to be my local root actually. Root add to where? My local port is going to be, let's say, 8888, okay. And actually I used okay, 888. Nothing, right? Okay. So 888 is going to be the port AD of 192.168.999.190. I assume that you use your TCP scanning, NetBIOS scanning on all of them and find that there is an IP address is available with this IP address, okay? I already skipping that part because it's the replication of the previous part. But actually, I have to use port forward. Here, I'm using root. Sorry about. Okay, now we have the connection. So let's refresh this page, right? 8888. When I refresh, bingo. I have an access to a box behind 1, 2, 3 firewalls and using triple pivoting, right? I still can exploit and run an SQL injection on this one. And when I look at my computers here, I still have the same root table, but this time I have an, how can I see that? Let me see. Okay, this one is listening 888 and it is listened by Ruby. Ruby is actually Metasploit. Metasploit is listening this port, and when I connect to that, it's bringing me to Ruby. Ruby can taking advantage of this root table we already have, and it's connecting back me to all the way down to that box. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope this is informative for you. Does anybody have any question? Did you like it? Perfect. I really like Meterpreter. I hope you guys also love that. So this is going to be end of this session. In the next sessions, we are going to continue with the web exploitation because the world is running on web applications. We are going to start with SQL injection and cross-site scripting. We will use, of course, and exploiting some boxes, especially the B box. Please make sure that your Kali Linux and B box are up and running. We don't need Genymotion and Metasploitable. The only thing we need is Kali and B box.